Senior Life Journeys presents Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia, a podcast designed to help caregivers find knowledge, power, hope, and smiles in their dementia caregiving journey. Welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. Here is your host, best-selling author, Carol Howell.
Hi, and welcome to Let's Talk Dementia. I am Carol Howell, your host, internationally certified dementia practitioner, and I'm traveling this caregiving journey with you. I'm glad you've chosen to join me today. If you haven't done so, if you're watching this on YouTube or any medium that will allow you to leave a kind word of review, a thumbs up, or subscribe, then I would ask you to please do that. If you're listening on the podcast, then you can do that on iTunes also. So the more people that know about us, the more people we can help. And we presently are in 83 countries. I need to check and see if we've hit 84 yet. My goal is 100 countries, and I have no clue why, but it just sounds good to me. But as I said, I am traveling this caregiving journey with you. That's my mama in the picture here for those of you on the video. And mama passed away in May of last year, but we are caregiving, my husband and I, for my brother-in-law, Ernie, who has PTSD and dementia brought on by Agent Orange from having been in Vietnam. His journey's just been interesting the last few days, and it makes me think of things to talk to you about. And so I'll just share them with you. Here you go. So today we went to visit Ernie because yesterday Ernie fell again. And he keeps forgetting that he can no longer walk, and he really cannot. But he forgets that, and he gets up, and he falls, and he hit his head. And, of course, then a trip to the emergency room was in order because that's what we do when we hit our head. We go make sure everything's okay, and it was. But Ernie is fixating on numbers. Have you guys had this happen with your loved one? There will be something on their mind, and they will fixate on that thing. And it may be the same thing for several days or even several weeks, or it may change. Every day it may be something different. Ernie has always been very interested in numbers. I hadn't even thought about it till my daughter reminded me today that he would ask, how many people live in this city? How many police officers do they have? What color are their cars? How many of the cars are white? How many of their cars are blue? And just numbers have always been important to him. Well, since his dementia has taken a turn, and it did so because of urinary tract infection that we still don't have cleared up, but numbers are just driving him crazy, and therefore are sort of kind of driving us a little bit bonkers too, because he will point at something in the room and he'll go, you know how much that weighs? Well, no, Ernie, how much does it weigh? Well, it weighs 167 pounds. Everything's in the 140 to 160 range, no matter what it is. And he said to me, do you know how much I weigh? And I said, Ernie, I'm going to guess you weigh 162. And he said, and this is how I know I love Ernie, he said, you weigh 142, right, Carol? My goal, my entire adult life has been to weigh 140. So yeah, that made me feel pretty happy. I said, yes, Ernie, I weigh 142. And he'll say, my wheelchair, it weighs 168. It's heavy. I tried picking it up. Numbers. They are all in his brain. I wonder if one day they came and weighed him and they said to him, Ernie, you weigh 167 pounds, which is about right. And that's kind of what got it started for him. But he can't get his mind off of it. Now, you can say to him, Ernie, no, that wheelchair does not weigh 167 pounds. And no, that CD player does not weigh 148 pounds, because that's the other big thing in his life is his CD player. It's his best buddy in the world. It doesn't. A CD player doesn't weigh but about 3 pounds, and you're crazy. Quit talking about numbers. You're driving us bonkers talking about numbers. Now, you can do that. It's not going to work real good for you, but you can do that. But what we want to do instead is just acknowledge what he's saying. So when he says the CD player weighs 142 pounds, I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. I did not know a CD player weighed that much. Do you like your CD player? What kind of music do you like? Well, Ernie's always going to tell you he likes Wanda Jackson, who, P.S., I had never heard of until recently, but she is a country artist from years back, I guess, like maybe the 50s, and he loves Wanda Jackson music, and he'll say, I like Wanda Jackson. Well, let's listen to Wanda Jackson. So we'll get Wanda Jackson to playing, and maybe for 2 or 3 minutes, Ernie will quit talking about numbers, or maybe not. Maybe he's going to keep talking about them, and if he does, you either are going to have to leave the room and not have that conversation because you feel like your head might explode and you're worn out, or you're just going to have that conversation in whatever form you decide to take it. And you can say something about numbers like, I went to the grocery store and had to weigh my bananas. How much do you think my bananas weighed? And get him to talking about something else besides his wheelchair and his how much he weighs and how much you weigh. Broaden his world of numbers. So it's very interesting. But what we are learning too is as we visit with Ernie, is our visits need to be a little shorter than we had planned for them to be, because it's very exhausting for my husband. It's a very emotional time for my husband, as you understand, and I do too, because he is watching his brother decline very rapidly. And so staying for a long visit just wipes Michael out. And then when he comes home, well, he's not a lot of fun to be with, you know what I mean? And so I'm like, maybe we need to have shorter visits more often, and then that helps Ernie too. And then you've got two eyeballs laying on Ernie more times rather than a long visit for fewer days. So we've kind of adjusted things there. I've also made it my mission to go with my husband as many times as I can for a couple reasons. One, when my sweet mama was going through her journey, my husband went with me every day. And there were times when I couldn't go, and he went by himself to visit my mama because he loved her. And so I am returning that favor for my husband to go with him as he visits Ernie. But having someone else that Michael can talk to while he's visiting Ernie is a relief for him. So we can talk about some things and have different conversations that might spark a train of thought for Ernie. And that's been good. One thing I did today for Ernie, as I have discovered that he is getting his wheelchair and going down the hall. Now I've got to tell you, I'm going to stop right here and tell you, if dementia is not the craziest thing on the planet, I don't know what is. When Ernie was in in assisted living, and he had some dementia, but nothing really that affected life much at all, very early stages, he sat in his room all day long. He got out to go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and he never left his room. Okay? We move him to memory care now, where his dementia has progressed quite a lot, and we would like for him to stay in his room and sit in his wheelchair and listen to his music, but oh no, now he has to get out and push that wheelchair all over the community, and us get to go find him. And yesterday we found him laying in the bed in someone else's room. Yep, that happens a lot in memory care, and that's okay. We're not worried about it. And today he was way down another hall in memory care, and that's okay because he was still in the safe, locked building. But I'm thinking, I wish he would just stay in his room like he used to do, right? But it is a constant change with Ernie. We never know what to expect with him, but we're trying to deal with it. But what I did for him today, because he is leaving his room and then not able to find his room. His name is not on the door, and there's nothing to go, oh, this is Ernie's room, except for the room number, which some days he remembers and some days he doesn't. You know how that goes. Well, outside his door, I posted, I don't know, 7 or 8 5x7 pictures, just little small pictures from Ernie's past. And there's pictures of Ernie when he was, I don't know, maybe middle school, pictures of him with his mama, pictures of him with his brother, pictures of our daughter when she was 18 months old, because he can relate to that. Pictures of him with his Ford Fairlane from the 1960s that he can relate to. So when he comes by and he sees that door and he sees those pictures, I'm hoping he'll go, oh, that's me. That's my mama. And maybe he'll go in that door rather than in the door down the hall that has somebody else in it. But we don't freak out about those things, folks. That's what memory care is for. It is not unusual to find two people sleeping together who do not even know each other. They just happen to be in the room at the same time in the bed. It's okay. Don't get upset about it. Just don't. Let it go. There are other things in your world you need to be more concerned about than that. Life is interesting. This dementia caregiving journey is always changing and evolving. And just about the time you think life has settled out, we're going to ride this wave for a little bit, you get the phone call that tells you, well, Uncle Ernie fell and he's in the hospital. Oh my, you just never know. And I know you understand that. But I hope that with this show you get a few tips that either make you giggle with me or at me, and I'm happy for whichever way that goes, as long as you're giggling, but something that will help you in your caregiving journey as you realize what you're dealing with. You're not the only one on the planet dealing with that there's lots of us out there right along with you. So I hope you have a great day and come back tomorrow. Blessings and smiles.
Let's Talk Dementia would like to thank our sponsors, National Association of Veterans and Families. You can reach them at 800-352-2919, on the internet at www.navf.org. They speak veterans so you don't have to, and you tell them Carol sent you when you call to inquire about benefits for the veteran, the spouse of the veteran, or both. Editor Beth. You can find Ms. Beth Crosby at editorbeth.com. She is amazing at looking at what you've written and making sure it represents you well. Find her at www.editorbeth.com. And HD Imports, located on Flint Street Extension in Rock Hill, South Carolina. That's York County. 803-985-0985. They are there for the repair and maintenance of your Honda, Hyundai, Toyota, Kia. Tell them Carol sent you.
Thanks for joining us today for Carol Howell's Let's Talk Dementia. To learn more about dementia, we recommend Carol's best-selling book, also titled Let's Talk Dementia. It's available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle versions. Be sure to like Let's Talk Dementia on Facebook and leave us a kind word of review on iTunes. Remember, knowledge brings power. Power brings hope. Hope brings smiles. And we all need more smiles. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll be right here when you come back to Let's Talk Dementia.